Hi, I'm Doug with Countryside. Today I'd like to go through a frequently asked question is that what's a leak check and why am I getting charged for it? Needless to say, during the winter is we do our most leak checks during the winter because of people run out of gas during the winter months and that stuff, or don't watch your gauge quite close enough, or they develop a leak or something and something happens. So according to insurance, needless to say, anytime a vessel is empty or the system has been opened, we need to run a leak check in order to verify that the system is okay in order to be in operation. So today I'm just going to take and show you how to do a leak check. We have a standard gauge. We use typically a 30 psi gauge in most cases that is on these. We take and hook up to what's a Schrader valve on the regulator. So in this case, the customer has not run out of gas. We're just doing a leak check in order to show you what's going on. So typically speaking, you got around 10 to 12 psi that's going over to the house regulator. This one here is at about 10.5 psi, right where it needs to be. So we'll take and shut the tank off at that point in time. And this tests the system basically from the tank all the way to the furnace. So from the tank to the furnace, that covers that section, and if there's anything else in between, if you got a stove, if you have a fireplace, if you got a dryer, a water heater, any of them things. Big thing is that when you're running a leak check, you need to make sure that all pilots are shut off, needless to say, because otherwise it's going to show a leak. So right now we're sitting here and we're holding right about 10.5 psi right in there. So we'll take and unlock the regulator. We'll bring it down to right about 8 psi, and we'll sit there and we can take and do a few other things in the process. So when we do this, you say in order for everything to be on the up and up for our insurance company, we get the tank serial number, we verify that, we verify what year, we verify the first stage regulator and the second stage regulator, which I've already done. This one's a 2015. The second stage regulator is an 02 on there. So, and what I like to do is when I'm doing one of these also is just to verify and that stuff for peace of mind, even though I don't see anything on the gauge and that stuff that's moving, I'll take and spray down the rest of the tank in order to see once if there's any other leaks in any other locations that won't be detected by the leak check. So we'll check relief valves, we'll check liquid withdrawal valves, we check the whole works and that stuff in order to make sure that there's no other leaks on the tank. We'll head up by the house and we'll take a look at the second stage regulator too at this time and spray that down. Okay, we're at the second stage regulator. I'm just going to spray this down too and make sure that we have no leaks anywhere on the system. And with this solution, what happens is that it forms bubbles and that stuff. Anything, if there was any kind of gas escaping at that point in time, it's going to take and form bubbles. And we know right away if we have a leak, which the gauge is not showing us that there's any leaks in the system. So I'm pretty confident that we're sitting pretty good. We have set a timer back there at the tank in order to see once how long. We run it for 4 minutes. Typically it's a 3-minute test, but because I don't have a second hand, I run it for the full 4 minutes. So we'll run back over and we'll check at the tank and see once where we're sitting on that. And then we can take and show you how we wrap things up. Okay, we've got back over. Our gauge is still sitting exactly where we left it. So needless to say, there's no leaks in the system. So everything is good. And you probably wonder why we do stuff like this and that stuff on a leak check. But the main thing is to make sure that all of our customers are safe and for us to make sure that we're not putting gas into a system that could have a potential leak. So very important step in order to make sure that the integrity of the system is maintained and is good. So I hope that helps you understand what a leak check is and what we do in a leak check. Any other questions that you have, you can definitely contact me at Countryside Co-op. Thanks for watching. I'm Doug with Countryside.